So what chewed through it? Or did it just break?
No idea.
Do I need to order more? Your sad face says yes. I know, they're cute. We'll get more. What's wrong with Wyatt Johnston? At least Dallas has still got a good record. I don't know that there's anything wrong with Johnston. He just needs one to go in, and it'll get better. Hockey guys setting up boards for the games tonight. Yeah, 30 calories already. Favorite board game? Well, there aren't any board games on this one. It's all hockey cards. My favorite board game? Othello, probably. Survivor Series. It's gonna be War Games. There'll be some big reveal at the end of the Bloodline one. Outside of that, it's gonna be a normal WWE pay-per-view, I think. I don't think anything major is necessarily gonna happen. But they've surprised me before. I'm watching another Disneyland walkthrough, so gotta watch something while I'm doing this. I don't really have a favorite team in the Metro. Come playoff time, there's always a couple I'm rooting for, but that changes from year to year. Depends on situation, rosters, sometimes the coach. I might root for a certain coach. Oh, this is Halloween. Yeah, I don't need that one. Nope. Right. Let's get out of there. What do I eat in a day? Usually food. What storyline have I enjoyed most in wrestling? The Bloodline stuff's been fun. The Liv stuff's been good too. Liv and Rhea. I had hundreds of millions of dollars. Or to Los Angeles. I don't know that I would change anything if I was rich, which I'm not. That's always speculated, but trust me, not. I'm happy with where we are, and if I had to live somewhere in the States, it'd probably be in Washington State. I might be able to be talked into California when I'm retired and old. Yeah, I gotta be pretty old to want to do that. Do I never miss the most? Oh, the meat factory. Why would I miss my old job? People who work there hate it. People I worked with still work there and tell me it's worse now than when I was there. I don't miss getting tapped on the shoulder by a supervisor as I'm punching out and getting told, by the way, you have to stay for 4 more hours while I'm planning on going home. And no is not an option because it's an agricultural job. And then they can come over and say, by the way, you had a day off tomorrow? Not anymore. Now you're coming in. Like, not fun. And when you get your paycheck, it's not as much more money as you think it's going to be. So it really isn't worth it either. On any level. Just means CRA gets more of your money. Thanks. I try to wear hats for this that I know I'm not going to be wearing in videos, that I can get washed after and I'll be like, oh, it's my favorite hat. This one I've had for, I think, 9 years. I think I had this one before I met my wife, so got to be 9 years ago. Man, not very many people in downtown. Or not downtown, Main Street. This looks early in the morning. Gotta be rope drop. Cyclone bomb? Yeah, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We've had them before. It's November. When it's November, I assume the weather's going to be disgusting. Yeah, that's usually the case. Do I like In Flames? Yeah, they're okay. I haven't seen them live or anything, but they're okay. I wouldn't pay if they were the headliner, but if they were a sporting act for somebody I wanted to see, I'd get tickets. It wouldn't affect me one way or the other. Now, physical fitness is important to me. So I do this 5 times a week. During the off season, sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's all week. 7 days a week. Let's see. I am at 5.4 miles an hour. 72 vertical feet so far. 10 minutes, 16 seconds. Pace of 11:06 per mile. I've done 0.935 miles so far. Ghost, I saw Ghost live. The next time that I consider it to be he, because there's one member of Ghost that's the important one. So if he comes back, we have to take the kids. We have to figure out a way to take the kids with us. But I haven't seen a Vancouver concert announced. It looks like he might be skipping us next time around. That'd be sad. But Ghost is a fantastic show. Greetings from BC as well. Do I like Gojira? I really don't watch the Godzilla movies. Oh, Gojira, the band. Never mind. Yeah, they're okay. My taste in music is pretty vast and broad, so as long as it's not country. If it's country, no thank you. But if it's not country, there's a good chance I'll at least be able to tolerate it. That's what I like throwing on when we're driving. I like throwing on the hip-hop channels. Find a song that I know I can sing along to, while Yvonne looks at me funny like, you know this song? Because she hadn't heard it. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, Ghost's fantastic. Forrest Gump didn't run for 5 years on a treadmill. I've been doing this since 2019. Actually, I think, yeah, I started this, I want to say 2018. So I started having meetups, and I didn't have the stamina. I'd get blown up. And so I got a treadmill, not this one, this is the replacement, the other one. I wore the other one out. And ever since then, when we play street hockey, I can go for 3+ hours and I'm fine the next day. First few times before I hit a treadmill, not fine the next day. In a lot of pain. Oh, that lineup's not bad. Toad is just walk on. Go walk on to Toad the Wild Ride there. Toad's Wild Ride. Whatever, do strength training. I wasn't a big fan of strength training back in high school. I have a very wiry build. You wouldn't see much in terms of muscle definition, no matter how I worked out. Genetically, I'm not built that way. I used to watch runners at the Olympics, and I was built like that. In high school, I was 118 pounds. I was 118 pounds from when I was 12 until my early 20s. Very skinny. People used to think I was sickly and is he not feeling well? It's like I'm fine, but I don't have that problem now, obviously. But the muscle memory's there. So once I got into the habit of jogging again, it's easy. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't bother me. A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. There's the answer. Oh, he went on Toad's Wild Ride. Good for him, he listened to me. Sometimes the Disney people don't, sometimes they do. Toad's Wild Ride is only if there's no wind. It's a quick ride. It's a dark ride. It's kind of meh. But it's also the only ride in Disney where you go to hell. So that happens. I hear the Dan Marino. No. I do not understand with Disneyland why they have a Toad's Wild Ride and they don't have anything for Ichabod Crane. When I was a kid, You'd watch Toad's Wild Ride or Mr. Toad, because you knew right after was the Headless Horseman. Nobody went, "Oh, Headless Horseman, I missed the Mr. Toad part of this episode." Nobody said that. It's so weird. I love the Oats hat too. Any prog metal bands? I believe so. I believe progressive metal is one of the ones I listen to. Big on industrial because Gen X. So it is a requirement with Gen X. We listen to industrial. Definitely. Okay, now go over to Dumbo. Dumbo's right there. Go over to Dumbo. There's a system you can use in Disney where you get the most rides, shortest period of time. You feel good, and then when the crowds pick up and you see the wait times go up, you're like, I can handle this because I went on those rides already. Not having kids. No. My stamina, my metabolism dropped around my mid-20s before I had any kids in my life. When I met my ex, she already had a daughter, so that was a pre-built family there. And then my son was born not long after. But in terms of staying at 118 pounds, that stopped before he was born. Not by a lot, but yeah, that stopped then. I know I look healthier now than I did back then. What's the system for this? This is a Proform. It's got iFit with it too, I don't bother with that. Got like, oh, there's an app on your phone. I know how to set my own pace and do my own workout. I don't need to pay to have somebody going, way to go, out of Abbotsford, good for him. I don't need that. I have my own voice in my head telling me, get the treadmill done now. I had another video idea for today. It's going to have to wait for tomorrow because it's treadmill time. Would I ever go to a Kraken game? I would, but it is almost a 3-hour drive to Seattle, 2.5, almost 3-hour drive home. That's 6 hours on the road. And that's because traffic through Everett sucks. You have another 2.5 hours at the game. You have to be there before the game. Basically, if we were going to go to a game in Seattle, I'd have to have that entire day pre-recorded, and we'd have to stay in a hotel in Seattle. Since we have 3 kids here, the option is either to bring the kids with us, which makes it way more expensive in a lot of ways, or get a sitter, which is also potentially pricey. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Because I still review all the games, so the logistics don't work. If it did, we would have done it already. I may have more stamina than Tyson, but I can't box. So I could run away from Jake for 2 minutes at a time, just have the boxing gloves up here, and just run and duck. I might be short enough that I could dive straight beneath his feet, come up on the other side, maybe land a rabbit punch before he knows what's going on, and then I'm dead. So, that doesn't work. Okay, where are you going now? Is he going to Star Wars or Frontierland? Go to Star Wars. Go to Galaxy's Edge. There you go. Perfect. It's odd when they listen to me, because it's just a video. Do I run outdoors? I just do the treadmill. The running outdoors is at street hockey games, generally. We're in a good neighborhood. I could run here, but I prefer the treadmill. I find that when I pound pavement, it is harder on the ankles and the knees than the treadmill on a 1.5 degree angle. Oh, he's going up to rise. Weight's going to be insane. When's my next Canucks game? We are not going to Vancouver games this year. Prices are too high. Abbotsford, I'm not sure yet. I gave my schedule to Yvonne before the season started. Told her which games I can go to. It's not as many as I would hope. A lot of the nights the Canucks play at home, Abbotsford, there's busy NHL nights. So I can't go. So. Lift any thoughts? Oh, lift any weights? I don't know if I can avoid it. I never like lifting weights. Ever. I do not enjoy it. My upper body doesn't enjoy it. And that goes back to middle school. I was okay at doing it in middle school, but I didn't really enjoy it. When we were in the weight room, I'd be the one groaning about it. This is around the time of year where we'd be in the weight room. And I would ask, can I just do a marathon jog instead? Sometimes I got a yes. Where I'd jog for probably 3 or 4 miles, the route that we would do. But yeah, I would do that for fun. Jogging. That was my idea of fun. Or cycling along the Vetter River. I really enjoyed doing that too. Sometimes I'd cycle out to Yarrow and back, which was about an hour and a half on the bike. The only tricky part was, when you get out into the farmland, a lot of big dogs that are not on leashes and really don't like people on bicycles. So I didn't do that often. And if I did, I'd get strategic. I'd be like, okay, I have to take that road and then go that way, because if I go straight, that guy's got Dobermans, and then there's Rottweilers at the next farm, and I don't know if I'm going to live. So I'll just hang a right instead. That was fun. What was the heaviest you've been? I don't know. No idea. One day I looked and I went, nah. And I just started working out and jogging and dropped weight. As you get older, it gets more difficult. Being in my 50s, I have to be realistic. I'm not going to look like I did when I was in my 20s. Not without enhancements, which I'm not willing to do. So, yeah. How am I? Not bad. I started losing hair in high school. I don't care. I just shave it every couple of months. It's not a big deal. I find it weird how much TV tries to tell you that losing your hair means you're losing your virility. No. No. Absolutely not, no. So, I just cut it off. I've been doing that for 20 years. At least 20 years I've been doing that. Thoughts on Valley Talent? They're okay. They toured through here last year. I'm trying to remember who they were opening for. I didn't go and see them. They have some songs I like. Not a ton, but they have some I like. And they're Canadian, so supporting Canadian bands is good. What's the meat industry like? It's awful. They can work you for as many hours as they want, and then when it's slow, you just don't get hours. And they expect you to be at their beck and call. So you might look at your schedule and go, hey, I have 4 days this week instead of 5. And then all of a sudden they'll be like, oh, sorry, we're going to schedule it for that 5th day, and then we're going to give you another day on the weekend too, and then next week you'll get 2 days. Like for part-timers, it's awful. You can't plan your paychecks. Your hours are all over the place. And even as a full-time worker, there were times I got sent home when my check was already too small for me to cover my rent and bills. And I would try to explain that to them, and I get told, sorry, nothing we can do. And so I remembered that. So when they would ask me, can you do overtime? I'd go, sorry, nothing I can do. Because if you're going to send me home when I need money, why should I work here when you need the extra people? It's just creates a very negative, hostile environment. And it was getting worse when I left, and apparently it got worse from there. One of my favorite people, she was a really hard worker. I'm not going to give up too much detail in this, but she had a medical reason she couldn't do one task. She could not do it. And as a first aid attendant, I knew before I left she needed to stop being put on that job. And I had talked to supervisors, said you need to train other people and get them good at that job because she can't do it. She ended up having to quit because even when she had a medical exemption from that job, they said, nope, that's your job. You have to do it. And she said, if you put me on that again, I'll quit. They put her on it again and she had to quit. She had been there for well over 10 years. And they just booted her. She never had attendance problems. She could do every job in that plant on every line. And they just said, oh, well, sorry, you're gone then. So it is hard to have any loyalty to a place that treats its workers like that. That has a medical exemption and they still fired her. So that's what frustrated me there. And I went through that too. It was a job I had to do a lot. Kills your shoulder, kills both of your wrists, and they don't care. It would be, come on, Shannon, you need to go down and do that. And it'd be like, so you want me to go down and get them all caught up so you can put the guy who can't keep up back on the job, so I have to go down there and catch up again. So I would just stay there. And I'd be there all day. You're not supposed to do that either. You're supposed to rotate jobs every 2 hours. They do not do it, and nobody enforces that regulation. So you can do the exact same repetitive job for 8 hours, or on overtime, sometimes it was 12 hours of doing the same job, plus I would have to work through breaks because nobody could replace me. So I'd have to work through breaks too. It was awful. I can't stress enough how little I would recommend people work in that industry. How long and far do I run on the treadmill? 750 calories worth. It ends up being about 4.6 miles. I'm on an 11:06 pace now per mile. I'm at 2.7 miles so far. I really haven't been following the NFL. I know that the Bengals are in worse shape than the Chargers, which doesn't surprise me. The Bengals are run badly. Jim Burrow's a great quarterback. Franchises run badly. And I expect the Chargers to probably make the playoffs and then lose in the wild card game, would be my guess. Detroit are on fire. Yeah, the Lions. Well, they had a good year last year. And, once you get good, you get confidence, you're well coached. Football is an interesting sport because the line between winning and losing, I don't think is that big. I think it's definitely easy to start losing when you've been winning. But I've seen teams flip the switch the other way too. And with a season that's, now 17 games, it is really interesting because there are no unimportant games in the NFL. Where is he now? Where is that view? I'm going to have to find that next time we go down there. Am I an Avenged Sevenfold fan? We were supposed to see them in Washington State, I want to say 3-4 years ago, and it got canceled. So I intend to see Avenged Sevenfold at some point, but they have to come to Vancouver first. So, still waiting on that. But yeah, I like Nightmare is great, and The Stage. The Stage is one of the best songs and videos ever. That video is fantastic. Our NFL kicker's too good now. They're better than they were. I'm glad they're making kicks from longer distance. Like, that's good for the sport. Kickers don't get the respect they should, in my opinion. And it was the only position in football that I ever felt like I might be able to do. Just to pause. I'll drink some of this. Don't tell Yvonne I said had some of her Gatorade. But yeah, kicker is something I thought I might have a chance at because I'm shorter. Well, I learned to throw a pretty good spiral. I knew being shorter, there was no chance I could ever be a quarterback. So that was a dream I never entertained. But I was pretty good at throwing a football for a while. Just when you're 5'4", you can't see over the O-line. So unless I had platforms, it's a bad idea. Because then it's going to rain, it's going to be muddy, I'm not going to be able to move. Caps are surprising, yes. But a lot of that is guys from Hershey coming up, like Protus, McMichael, to some extent Lapierre when he's playing well, and bringing that mindset they had in Hershey where they won back-to-back to Washington. That AHL feeder system really seems to be benefiting the Capitals. What's he doing now? Just watching Tiana's. Yeah, getting Eller back was a good move by Washington. He's older now, but he gives them that depth they needed. So, smart move. Water looks so green. Hello? Protus Young Guns climbs to $1 in value. Protus is never going to be a big scorer, but he's a good player, so there'll be some value to his Young Guns card. Not a ton, but some. the bet foam just once per season? No, but I don't do it frequently because then it'll lose something. So it's rare, absolutely rare. Would I do a video on Major League Baseball expansion? Once it's confirmed, maybe. It's going to be pricey. Feel so bad for Line. I don't know, he's still making really good money. He's going to be back not that long from now. I think he'll be alright. I know it's not all money, of course. Is that the store for Haunted Mansion? I know they're building a new store for Haunted Mansion. Oh, gift shop. I have not watched the new episodes of Cobra Kai. I only got halfway into the second episode for this season, and it was too stupid. I was like, this is dumb. This is not the show it was in the beginning. It lost me. It went way off track. I just can't do it anymore. Just can't. I may go back and watch it when the whole thing is released, but I don't have any interest right now. He's really showing the Rivers of America a lot. Who I think's leaving the Traders tonight? I hope Michael John. About bloody time if they get him. I don't think they will. This is arguably the worst group of faithful, although Australia Season 1 was bad, and Australia Season 2, well, it was stupid. Because they would point at the one guy and go, "You're a traitor," and he'd answer with the back, "No, I'm not. I think it's that person," and they go, "Well, that's a persuasive argument." And they vote out the other person. What? So, I hope Canada gets a traitor tonight. I hope. Otherwise, they're just going to keep mowing them down. Oh, going on Pirates. Is Chili seeing the funniest moment from The Office? Yes. Probably makes me laugh the most. The "No, please God, no" when Toby's back is up there. And when Jim takes Dwight out on the call and gets him to bang his head into the front seat and slaps him in the face when they're going into the building. Those moments are just great. He's like, "I could attack you from the front." No, incorrect. I could block the blow. I could smack him. It's perfect. Jim's sense of humor is very similar to mine. I have had coworkers that I could see myself having a conversation with. I've definitely dealt with Dwights in my past. And even in an office setting too, at the call center, there were Dwights. It's part of what made that show work. Everybody on there, if you'd worked in an office, or like I said, a call center, you knew people that fit into almost every category. Do I watch Survivor? No. I lost interest in Survivor ages ago. It's the same every year. I just don't have any interest. If they did it in an Arctic environment, if they changed it so that alliances don't matter, that'd be great. Like the challenge. It's part of the reason I like the challenge. You can be in an alliance. It could be a huge alliance, but you could end up with people from your alliance against each other in the elimination. I love that. Nobody skates by, mostly, on the challenge. trying to think. Yeah, nobody from this season who's still on Challenge 40 is somebody I consider to be skating by. Maybe Derek. Maybe. Parks and Rec. I love Parks and Rec. Any of the one-liners with April or Ron. And Ron and April's relationship is amazing. My crush on Aubrey Plaza started with that show. I didn't realize after being April, every role she played would essentially just be April, turned up a little bit. But it works for her, so I can't really say much. When Kelly busts them, or when they bust Kelly for bad reviews on their calls, I used to see the opposite. At the call center, that somebody on the floor might have been involved with somebody in management, and all of a sudden all their quality scores went through the roof. And we'd be like, all of a sudden they're a great agent. That's so weird. They weren't before. I wonder what happened. And there's no point saying anything, so you just let it slide. The problem is, the quality score started to be factored in for raises and shift bids. For every 3 months, you'd be bidding on what shift you were going to get, including start time and day off. So every 3 months, your days off and your start time would completely change. It was very frustrating. Very frustrating. I started taking 410s because other people didn't want 410s. So that way I would get at least one day on the weekend off, and I had some reliability to my shift times. But 10-hour shifts are hard. Not gonna lie. Do I have a favorite Star Trek series? Next Gen. Next Generation had some cheesy episodes, but when they were good, they were the best. Deep Space Nine had interesting ideas. I didn't consistently like them as much. And the original series was fun to watch and still is. I still at times, late at night, will put an episode on if I can't sleep. And it's comfort food, really. The old Star Trek. Team most in need of a uniform logo change. From an NHL perspective, I don't know that any of them need to change. I could see the Jets going back to their old look. And then most other teams will use their throwback looks just as a third. Yeah, I don't know that anybody needs a rebrand. I would say Ottawa, but they just went back to their old logo. I think Ottawa could do something really fun, but they just went back to the old logo. The Hurricanes, I think there will be some sort of rebrand. I think Tom Dundon wants to. I think it's a matter of time. There's not a lot you can do with the name Hurricane, though. So, I'm not sure what a rebrand would look like. The Caps could just go back to the Screaming Eagle. The Blue Jackets, use the cannon. I know ownership doesn't want to. Use the cannon. It's their best look. A white jersey with that cannon on it, I'd buy it. I don't know if the price point would be a problem either. Probably jack up the price on that one. Okay, where are we at here? 327 vertical feet, 46 minutes, pace of 11:06, 4.15 miles. $668 calories. Coke or Pepsi? Coke. I won't even buy Pepsi products anymore other than zero sugar cherry Pepsi. That's it. Anything else Pepsi? No thank you. That includes 7-Up. Mug is the only exception. Mug root beer is fantastic. Screwed are the Sens. They shouldn't be. They're talented enough. They should be winning more games this year. They should be a playoff team. There's not really an excuse left. 338 meters. Yeah, everybody knows that I love Batman, so of course Adam West is one of my mods. Because Batman. So, done. As far as I know, it's the real Adam West. From Beyond the Beyond. True story. They just won't cast him in movies anymore because not alive, but I don't know. Plenty of actors that are bad at their jobs, so not sure how somebody who's not alive would be worse. You could dub in lines, be fine. Oh man, I just made the AI argument. Forget I said that. Forget any of that. I didn't need to make that was just a joke. Gotta watch the jokes though. It is the internet. Columbus hosting Caps in August or in April. How much did you pay for a ticket? I generally don't pay more than 120 Canadian for a ticket. Higher than that, because you can't guarantee that you're going to enjoy the game. So, I don't like paying for something I don't enjoy. So, yeah, no thanks. How's Mike doing? Mike's doing alright. He's busy. He did call me last week. We chatted a little bit. He wanted to let me know that he dropped my name on that podcast he was on. So I told him I'd seen that. We chatted a little bit. He told me to keep up the good work, keep doing what I'm doing, and it helped. It's still weird though when my phone rings and I look and I see Michael Bublé and I'm like, that's not right. He's not supposed to call me. I'm just some nobody hockey fan from Abbotsford. But he's supported the channel a lot over the years. So I'm very grateful to him for that. I had no idea how much he was talking to hockey players, announcers, coaches, GMs, anybody who'd listen, saying you should be watching this guy. So, yeah, I owe him for that. think it was pretty cool myself. Okay, what are we at? 51 minutes. Still at 5.4 miles an hour. That's the sweet spot for me. Used to be 5.2. With the other treadmill, I always held on to it. I used to do that one at 6. But when you're pumping your arms rather than holding onto this, it's a little more difficult. Man, Pirates just keeps going. Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride at Disney. Whoa! Do not fall down. Number one rule on here. 745 calories, one more round. One more round. Let's get it on. Come on. So 4.68 miles. Around the same as last time. 752 calories. Okay. Okay. Who do I think's the top prospect? Higgins. Higgins is probably going to be the number one draft pick. Yvonne's doing okay. I think she's tired today. We got in late last night and then we were up kind of early this morning.
I'm fine.
You're fine? Alright. Hopefully it didn't offend anybody that she was in the background there, so I have to watch that now with the internet and all. Favorite board game? Yeah, I'd go with Othello. Othello would probably be my favorite board game. Thank you. I intend to keep it up. Yeah, the Capitals are playing really, really well. We'll see if Utah proves to be a trap game. I do have that thought process of, okay, they just won in Vegas. Are they going to have a letdown playing in Utah? Could Vejmelka have another fantastic game? So there's that. But yeah, they're playing pretty darn well. I do remember that there are people who like when she's in videos. But I have to weigh that because, like, and I'll be doing a video on this channel over the next couple of days. I do want to, because somebody asked not too long ago if I was going to continue the videos where I get into, like, my life story. And I think I now have a way to continue that. And so I'll do a video on that on this channel over the next couple of days. Yeah, Utah should be fun. They're capable of stealing a game or two, but their offense has definitely been struggling in recent weeks. Do I think the Wild make it past the first round? I don't want to make that prediction. I have been very, very hopeful for the Wild. I was hopeful they'd knock out Vegas, and they didn't. Looking back over the last decade, there have been a lot of times where I have rooted for them to get over the hump, and they haven't been able to do it. I hope they do it this year. I really do. Dig out my playlist of books. So I've got volumes 1 through 3 here. I've got Run in here somewhere. My favorite book. That's my favorite book. Period. TikTok. That's a fantastic book. I laughed all the way through it. I've read it at least 5 or 6 times. That one's up there. The book I've read the most, though, would be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And So Long and Thanks for All the Fish is good. Restaurant at the End of the Universe might be my favorite of the series. So, yeah. Douglas Adams, a good writer. Favorite place to sit at the game? Top of the bowl. I don't know that it matters where, as long as it's lower bowl, around the top, you get the best view of the ice. Usually the seats where you're just inside one zone or the other are cheaper than obviously center ice. And I find you get a better view of the ice than you do at center ice. I've sat at center ice. I don't prefer that view. Yeah, we went in and we had to change it. I was having trouble getting into my Amazon account that those books are published under. So once I finally got in, I had to update some tax information, and now there's some money that had been in there that they'd been unable to pay out. So now I'm going to get paid out. So that helps. I do want to do something with my writing, something, whether it's submitting those books for actual publication through a publisher, but I want to do something with them. Okay. What do I think about the Canada Post strike? I'm going to do a video on that. I'm going to do a video on the Canada Post strike on this channel because I have some definite opinions on said strike. Sitting behind the net is a good spot, and it's a cheap spot to watch a game too. Again, you want to be higher up. You don't necessarily want to be behind the glass, but you get a really good seat for some crunching hits. Okay.
Message me if you want anything.
I will. I'm just going to finish up here. Am I going to watch the new Gladiator movie? Probably not. I'm not really interested in it. If I do, it'll be on demand way later. Have I been to Richmond Olympic Oval? No. At some point, I'd like to, though. It'd be kind of fun to skate on that, to be honest. I haven't been on skates in a while. I do want to get back on skates. I was talking to Yvonne about that. And wanting to do some content maybe for the hockey channel. Maybe a bumbling ref kind of video, something where I'm on the ice. So I've given her a few ideas, and we'll see what we can come up with. So, at any rate, I'm going to get going now, but I will be doing this again during the week. I enjoy doing these and proving to people, because again, I do see the comments on the channel, oh, why are we listening to this fat guy? And I'm like, holy crap, I jog every day. So, all right, let's just go ahead and I'll just prove I jog every day. And that I can do this and I'm in shape. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. It's greatly appreciated. The numbers on this channel have been very strong because of the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson video. So there will be more content in that vein, and there will definitely be more wrestling content too. This channel has been, I've always referred to as kind of like a sleeping giant. There's a lot I could do with this channel that I don't. And so I need to start tapping into that right now. So look forward to that. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Boop.